Hi, my name is Richard Endacott and I'm a head of sixth form over at a secondary school over in Slough in Berkshire. And I come to you as an Apogo community expert with some great ideas as to how you can further your career. I left university back in 1997 and joined the corporate world. Within that, I was a recruitment consultant for 2 years before I became a buyer within a major media firm. However, it was discussions with family and friends as to my next career move, which made me really think about teaching seriously as a career. Now, teaching isn't something which I had considered as an option growing up. My aunties had both been teachers and they'd always complained about the workload and they'd always talked about the behaviour of the children, which was driving them mad, and all these things that we hear about in the teaching profession. However, I was told and advised by lots of family and friends that perhaps teaching is for me, because what I have is a passion and a talent for standing up in front of an audience and to encourage them to make the best that they can with their lives. And that's something which, as a seed, really helped me develop my thoughts. Immediately, I went to the school in which I had attended as a child, purely to ask how do I get into teaching and exactly what teaching is all about. I saw the head teacher, and the head teacher sat me down and he said, "Tell me, what degree have you got?" And I said, "Well, I've got a history and politics degree." And with that, his eyes lit up and he said, "Can you start on Monday?" And I was thinking, blimey, you know, I've stepped out of the corporate world. I'm now being offered a job as a teacher almost immediately. How has this happened? What is this career all about? So for the first few weeks of my teaching career, I attended the class of an established history teacher who had in fact taught me many years ago. So it's interesting seeing his teaching from the perspective of a student, but also now seeing it as from the perspective of a colleague. And it was a different environment, a different world to what I had seen previously. What excited me was the engagement of the students. His teaching style is not one which would tick many boxes in the Ofsted framework, but his teaching style would certainly engage anybody within that class, and even those students who weren't necessarily good students, who weren't necessarily natural academics. You could see their eyes were lit up with the fire of what this individual teacher was teaching to them. And so I've always used that as a stimulus for my own practice, and I was soon given my own class, and I found myself standing quite comfortably and confidently in front of groups of 30 students and engaging them and stimulating them as to really want to be the best that they can be. And I found that was really a natural transition for me. So I'd moved from the corporate world into this teaching world, and I'd found it quite seamless, which of course really prompted me to further my career. From that, I looked at the different opportunities which were available to me. I soon became head of cricket at the school, and I'm delighted to have taken a group of students off to Barbados in my NQT year for a cricket tour, as well as this being involved in the rugby and other sports and extracurricular activities across the school. So at my time at Windsor Boys, I was promoted to head of department, and also alongside that I was head of house. My old house, which I'd been as a boy in, I was now the head of, which was a deeply proud moment for myself. However, after 11 years within that particular school, I knew it was time to move on. I knew it was time to make that next career move. And so I found myself flicking through the green sheets, finding what opportunities were available to me. And I found a role over in Slough at a school, a secondary modern school in Slough, as their head of sixth form, which was a very exciting development for me, because a lot of my teaching had been A-levels and had been at Key Stage 5 with history with politics, but also exposure to law and other subject areas. And so I put myself forward. I put my application in to this school. And the first thing I did is I went to visit the school. Now, this is very important for anybody who's looking for their next step in their teaching career, to go and visit the school in which they intend to teach at and try and get a real feel for the vibe and the ethos of the school. And what I found was a group of students who were very, very well behaved, who there was not a single piece of litter anywhere on the school site. But also they were engaged in a number of activities. The rowing machines were out in one corner of the atrium. In the other corner, you could see that the English department were delivering some plays about Shakespeare and really engaging their students. And immediately I said to myself that this is a school that I can see myself in, and this is a school which is really going to develop my career. So I made the move. I put the application in, and I went through the recruitment process, the interview. And the interview itself, having never had a teaching interview, was a very frightening experience. You know, my previous role at the boys' school, I'd been given it purely because I knew them and they knew me. Whereas now, I was subjected to a full day's interview with in-tray exercises and teaching a lesson and interview with the governors and a student panel and everything that's involved in teacher recruitment. And what I found was a real positive vibe coming out of that interview, and I was delighted that I was awarded the position, and I was soon to start in September.